Like and subscribe right now, or you're going to have bad luck for the rest of the week.
Polycephaly is an abnormal condition, whereas an animal is born with two heads. People from some cultures think of it as a blessing, while others think of it as a curse. No matter what people think, one thing we can all agree on is that creatures with this condition truly are weird and rare. In this video, we'll be looking at the 10 weird two-headed animals. Make sure you stay till number 1, because that is something that will truly blow your mind away. Number 10. Squirt and Crush. There have been quite a few cases of turtles with two heads, but almost all of them belong to the smallest species of turtles. It is very rare to find such conditions in larger species. So, when a baby loggerhead turtle was discovered with two heads a year ago, the news stirred quite a buzz. A sea turtle patrol on Hilton Island in South Carolina discovered an extremely rare, two-headed loggerhead hatchling, which was desperately trying to keep up with its brothers and sisters, who were on their way to the sea. It was very energetic but had a deformed shell, making movement extremely difficult. The people who discovered the twins were very excited to see, and named them Squirt and Crush. Say that is an extremely rare finding in their area. While the last discovery happened 15 years ago, turtle hatchlings already have a very difficult time in the wild, wherein only 1 in 1,000 are expected to survive to adulthood. If this hatchling wasn't discovered, its chances of survival in the wild were next to none. Fortunately, their discovery gave them a better chance of survival. Number 9. The two-headed cardinal. Birds are some of the rarest animals found with two heads. It is because any animal with this kind of mutation really has little to no chance of surviving out in the wild. So when this bird was found in western Massachusetts, it was indeed quite a rare find. What made this discovery rarer and weirder is that not only what the bird has two heads, but it has two beaks as well. April Britt from Northampton noticed that the cardinals have been flying around her home for quite a while. She thought it was strange and went to investigate what the matter was. During her investigation, she spotted this tiny bird on the lower branches in one of the trees. The bird was a few weeks old and covered in juvenile feathers. The discovery even made it to the local news, and Britt was interviewed regarding her find. Unfortunately, the bird did not have a long life and died at a young age. Experts say that it is due to its deformity. Even flying was an impossible feat for the poor little thing. Number 8. The first of its kind. While two-headed turtles and birds are quite common, relatively speaking, this next entry on our list is truly the first of its kind. Back in 2017, a Dutch fisherman fishing in the North Sea, he caught something truly weird in his nets, along with his catch of the day. He found a deformed animal, which was clearly an infant. Unfortunately, the creature was no longer alive when it was fished out of the ocean. Thinking it was illegal to keep such an animal, he subsequently threw it back into the sea, but not before taking a few photos of it. Upon examination of the photos, experts concluded that what the fisherman found was a baby two-headed harper porpoise. According to Erwin Compigan of the National Museum of History in Rotterdam, says that conjoined twins in whales and dolphins are extremely rare, and he was only aware of 9 other published cases worldwide. Number 7. Lucky the calf. Lucky the two-headed calf was born in a farm in Kentucky, owned by a husband and wife, Stu and Brandy McCubbin. The couple said they had never encountered an animal like Lucky in their 7 years of running a farm. Typically speaking, Lucky doesn't have two heads, but rather has two faces, with 2 mouths, 2 noses, and 4 eyes. Lucky, however, only seemed to have 1 brain, as when the McCubbins try to feed one mouth, the other mouth moves in unison. This makes Lucky quite an even rarer case of polycephaly. A veterinarian team from the University of Illinois became interested in Lucky in giving her an operation that would probably prolong her life. The McCubbins were even able to raise $1,200 for the operation. Unfortunately, 1 week before the operation, Lucky stopped eating and sadly passed away. She survived almost 180 days, making her the longest surviving calf with 2 faces, the previous record being only 40 days. Number 6. The goat from Kazakhstan. After the two-faced calf, we now move on to another kind of livestock, that too on the other side of the world, in a small farm in Kazakhstan, where a cute baby goat was born very healthy, but with only a small problem. It had two faces. Similar to Lucky, who was a calf born with two faces, two noses, two mouths, and two pairs of eyes, but only with one head. This baby goat also had two faces on one head. A viral video on the internet showed it being very active and flourishing, and it also had no problems in suckling milk from the mother. Although it wasn't expected for livestock to be born with this kind of mutation to live until maturity, there was a very high hopes for this kid. But unfortunately, like other entries on our list, this one had a sad ending too. The mother of the baby goat, who initially allowed her to suckle milk from her, suddenly stopped doing so, even trying to run away from fright. Still, the farmer didn't separate the mother and the kid. Then one unfortunate night, the mother trampled the kid accidentally while trying to run away from it. A very sad ending indeed, which robbed us of the opportunity of seeing one of these amazing and admittedly weird animals fully grown and mature. Number 5. The Two-Headed Dragon. Dragons are, as far as we know, mythical creatures with little to no evidence of them actually existing, let alone the possibility of it existing of a two-headed dragon. While a two-headed dragon wouldn't be much out of place of a feature in a fantasy novel or video game, it is very weird to find one in real life. But it is a fact that two-headed dragons do exist. It is alive and real and belongs to a man who has an entry in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the largest collection of two-headed animals. That is an oddly specific entry, but more power to him. Todd Ray, who is also a Grammy award-winning producer, is an avid collector of two-headed creatures, and his species of two-headed dragons seem to be the crown jewel of his collection. And yes, you heard that right, he doesn't only own one of them. In 2010, he acquired a dragon named Lefty and Poncho, and in 2012, he acquired the second specimen and named it Jekyll and Hyde. Having two pairs of two-headed dragons might seem like a bit too much, but that's just the tip of the iceberg, as Ray is also the proud owner of the only existing three-headed turtle. Unfortunately, the third head is the only reason why we didn't include it on this list as one of the weirdest two-headed animals. Number 4. Lambs, and more lambs. Lambs seem to be the most common animal to have polycephaly. A quick Google search will show you that lambs already do commonly have double heads. In 2017, a two-headed lamb was born in New South Wales. The farmer who owns it said it came as quite a shock for him, as the lamb was born with his hind legs first. The poor lamb broke his leg as the farmer was trying to pull him out, but fortunately he recovered completely very soon. No word of it to reach maturity though. The two-headed lambs were also a staple in circuses, traveling carnivals. During the heydays in the US, P.T. Barnum's traveling circus is very famous for showcasing such odd occurrences, often creating fictional backstories about them. Number 3. Two-headed little pigs. A farmer in China was very proud of the fact that his sow gave birth to a litter of healthy piglets, but he was startled to see one of them, who was a little bit different and special. If it isn't obvious enough why this piglet was special, then let us tell you that he was born with two heads. To be more specific, he didn't have two heads, rather two faces conjoined in one head. It had two mouths, two snouts, and three eyes. Quite predictably, it became a local celebrity in that small town in China. The farmer named Zhang Liang said that he fed all his animals ragweed and the sow was no exception to it. Although he was offered an equivalent of $300 for the piglet, the farmer refused to sell it. Apparently, the farmer's son fell in love with the pig and wanted to keep him as his prize pet. Number 2. Bears and snakes. This picture shows the photos of two different animals, both having two heads, and both being equally terrifying if you encountered them in the wild. The only difference between them is that one of them is real and the other one isn't. Can you guess which one is real? If your answer is bear, you better get your eyes checked, because that one is just a manipulated picture, and there is no documentation of a two-headed bear anywhere in the world. Furthermore, polycephalic animals usually don't reach adulthood, so finding a fully matured two-headed bear can only be possible in fictional movies and fantasy novels. The two-headed snake, on the other hand, is a totally different case altogether. Although rare, there have been numerous documented sightings of two-headed snakes' forms all over the world. We're pretty sure that Todd Ray must have a couple of these in his collection. Anyway, this picture is of an albino melon snake, which has been viral on the internet for quite a while now. Scary and cute, this one is a weird combination. Number 1. Cuteness comes in pairs. This cute yet weird kitten's video quickly became a viral sensation over the internet. She was born to a usual house cat in Eastern Cape, South Africa. There were 3 kittens in this litter, but Betty B had a unique trait. She was born with 2 faces. Unfortunately, her double face came with difficulty in nursing, which posed a risk of starving to death for her, so the rescuers started to feed her themselves. The kittens seemed to thrive initially, but gave us all a sad ending with her death after only 16 days of her birth. Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments down below which entry came out as shocking to you. Which one was your favorite? Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.